Well, I had a little project on the go here for a while. Just got some parts back to be able to work on it. Now I'm getting a little warmer weather. It's not in the warmest building ever, but no international. It's a clutch job. I'm going to put a rear main seal on it. See, the old clutch got pretty chomped up. And if you look at the rivets here, they were severely, or the clutch, actual pads there, ceramic pads, were awfully wore. Actually, now I see the centers. No, maybe not. But anyway, so he got the parts here, and there's a nice resurfaced flywheel. So we'll get that made together. So I'll take the rear main seal cover off, put the seal in. That'll be a start. Now just take note of this. Let's see if I can get it off of here. Well, that is ice. She's all full of ice here too. It's all down into the bottom. All ice. It's not really what we want to see. Closer look at this. Somebody's put a bead of silicone down the bottom. I guess figuring that would stop if it leaked at the bottom. And actually the old seal on it, if you can see that or not, it's still quite pliable. I mean, it's colder here too, so, but it's still quite, it's not super hard. Maybe they had a seal put in it not overly long ago. Yeah, that would not do much. Putting that strip of silicone. Yeah, there's the ice I was talking about there. Of course, all three of these were full of it. So now I want to get that old seal out. And I'll probably do sit down on the vise this way down and just punch along the edge of that and it should pop right out. Actually, I might do it right here with this wire brush here. Use that, hold it up a little, friggin' glove. Maybe just work that out. Gotta be careful in tapping on it because you don't want to crack this. There's actually enough lip there, I should almost be able to get it started. You want to be real careful not to bite the edge of that. If you do that, you might have trouble sealing her back up. Just like that. Somebody actually had that glued in, I'd say, a little bit, with maybe some of that Loctite, well, we call it grape jelly, but it's not what it is. So you want that real clean, of course, so this junk out of the way. In here it doesn't matter so much, I'm going to blow some brake clean at that. But you want where that seal's going to sit to be super clean. Now I am going to use a little bit, I believe. I got to check my seal first. And if it's not rubbered on the edge, which it probably won't be, take a look at it here. Yeah, that's a steel edge with a little coating on it. Steel edge with a coating. Now I'll do two things. I'll take a little grease, put it in there, probably 4 spots. I'll make sure that ring don't fall off. This isn't a big worry because I can look at the back side of it. I might not even do that, but when you can see the back side, you can tell if the springs come off. But now if it was a wheel seal or something you drive down into something, it is a lot harder. And if you do not, that spring happens to fall off, that girder spring, that will cause the seal not to work properly, of course, and then you'll be still leaking. What it probably will do is take a little bit of anaerobic sealant and just walk across that, just a skim. That'll help that go down in there. Probably doesn't need it, but put a little gob over on. Put a light, just a thin coat of that on, do the job. If it was a rubber-lipped seal, it would not get it, because there'd be no need for it. It'd be rubber. If you put something like that on a rubber seal, you can make it slip and do funny things. I'll get dirt in it, of course. Well, like I say, just need a light coat on around it. Now, I'm no super expert either, but I have a few years of mechanic experience under my belt. I put a seal or two in before. No matter how good you are, you're always going to get a seal somewhere that, for whatever reason, might come back with a leak. No matter how good you are, how good you think you are. Hopefully that'll go down in without much issue. This isn't much of a bench, but it does the job. That's not working. It's right there. That fucking hurt. It's not a seahorse. I'm roughing that edge out a little. Don't really want that. No, you do not want to point the edge dizzily. You want to just let me knock that out of there. It should work. So, you gotta cooperate this time, honey. We want to put this in as square as we can. That's a real pig. I'm not impressed with that. Amazing. Yeah, looking fairly decent here. I want to make sure that's even all the way around. That seal's sitting square in that groove. Well, he did get me a gasket, so we will use that. You can see here she's been sitting because it's I need a little cleaning up, getting a little rusted. But that was the initial issue with it. Throat bearing went. And that gasket, it's a little dark, but and that gasket, just as hard as can be. I'll be scraping it out for a while. Now these bolt heads are a little dirty, but you see I did mark them with yellow. That way I know I torqued them. Now I'm going to do something you should always do before you put a clutch in. Before you try putting the tractor together. Here's the clutch. See my grass floor in the shop, not really, yeah, too exciting. Some wonderful stuff here, I'm sure. Now, first thing you want to do put that in the bag, of course. No matter how sure you are you got the right one, things can happen. Interesting. Over here with me. Now, easy thing you can check. Oh gosh, there we go. That went on a little hard, of course, and you'd be lined up, but that goes on. Now, you can only imagine the frustration if you were to put that rig together, try to put this tractor together. Same thing for the pressure button. You don't have to do this, but like I say, it is a pretty easy thing just to stick it on to make sure. And also, if you have a barb or something, of course, on the end of that, and it won't quite go on very well, you could always take a file and file the barb off. Now, the end of this is worn. There's not a whole lot you can do about that, but where that pilot bearing runs, as you can see, it's severely wore, but I guess it being in there is better than not, so. Now, you don't need any special tools to line this up. And I'll show you that too. The easiest way to do it is find a socket that fits nice and snug here. A socket that fits nice and snug in your actual pressure plate. And if you could, one about that same size there, you can stick in, well, once your flywheel's on, you stick in your pilot bearing. Let's see if we can scrounge out. Alright, I just torqued them all up here. Let's put the mark of approval on. Oh, paint bin's gone dead on me. Put the mark of approval on. Doesn't help, it's probably frozen. That way we know we torqued them. Come on, baby. Yeah. Now, what I'll do is double check. There's my tool I made to line this baby up. Now I should really tape that on that shaft because this does have a little walk. You might not be able to tell it there, but it's got a little walk on that. Not that way so much, but like that. I can't get it really. But anyways, make sure it fits all the parts and pieces. So, there's your pilot bearing. That fits good. Get over here. That fits that good. And then the last piece, pressure plate. That fits in there quite snug. So, it should be a working unit. So let's stick this thing together. So I got it pointing in the right direction here. We're going to throw it all in place first. Then we'll put my fancy tool in there. Make sure you got your pressure plate on the flywheel side. Or sorry, your clutch disc. It's always a very helpful thing to have it going the right way. Should have cleaned, dry. Your pressure plate. Throw that bugger up in there. Start one there. Start one here. I won't grab quite as good. Alright, let's just stick our fang-dang-good riggins in here. We can get it. Lift that up. Get the two started in it. We should be able to catch that pilot bearing. We know that's just like that. Freaking wheel. Yeah. You want to be careful too, you don't lose your socket. If the flywheel is quite deep, you don't want to lose your socket down the belly of the beast. So, now there. Now it should be quite lined up. But now you'll notice that is a little flippy floppy. So when I go to tighten this up, I'll make sure I put that in the center as possible. I'll hold it. Try to be as centered as it can be. I will put a drop of Loctite on these just because I am that person. Oh, that's behind that. Right where I said don't put one. It's on that block. Ooh, stay there, little girl. Should really have a proper ratchet for this. I'll come being prepared for that one. Tighten up there now. So. I don't want to take her over too much yet. Now I pull that out, I will make sure. We'll try to make sure that is in the best spot it can be. Get your tool back out, take a gander inside. Just to confirm that you should look quite even in there. Of course, the best way would have been to have the proper tool. The job. Unfortunately, I do not have that, so you can't go there, sweetie. Here, take that one there. So I make do with what I got. The hole there, hole here. It's got a bolt on it. So. Now as we tighten that, our box will come out. Take the tool, take a good look in there. Everything should be quite decent through there. It looks pretty good, so got that up a little bit. I'm gonna tighten her up a couple of turns. Oh, look at the mess is. I'm just going to pop some, make sure it's got off. So upon closer inspection here, I was torquing the rest of these up. Oh, and then we'll go around and check the whole work. When I took the rear main seal cover off, there was some ice. Oh, touched my nose, that dirt. Well, I would say there must be a little in the bottom of her holding her up. You can knock her a little, but you can't do that now. But you clunk her back and forth a little, but you can't. But you can't turn her. Now I'll give those the mark of approval. I'd say she got enough ice down the bottom of her. She must be half froze in, which isn't good. Customer says he wants to change the oil, which is alright. But it might get changed here because you don't really want. One thing to have a little water in your oil, but that much water, not so good. Mark the corners of these, you can see it maybe. Oh, there, gee, that's working great. Got in the pocket there, warmed her up. There you go, sweetie. I say that takes the guesswork out of. Oh, did I tighten that? Especially when you come back in the next day and you're not really sure. Now look inside of her. She should be quite square. Clutch should be square in those. You look straight across that spline. Looks pretty good all the way around. That's good. Now I have to clean that. Clean that spline up there a little bit. You see, that's been sitting. Just a little bit of wear on it, but really not bad. My old International over there's got enough wear on it. I'm half scared the PTO is gonna. Well, when you run the PTO hard on like a bush hog, it clatters because it will load up and it'll unload. So that'll make it go. That'll make it go clunk, 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 clunk. So yeah. Time to get some dinner. Make sure I change that throat bearing. I don't want to have to take it back apart because somebody forgot to change the throat bearing. So I finally got myself back outside. Not a very nice day, but we made her back out. So now to get that throat bearing out, I'm going to have to pop that pin out of that. Oh, and it is actually free. I figured it'd be about seized up solid. Geez, look at that. It just keeps getting better. Now I do notice the friggin' spring's not on it. So that could be why the throat bearing went to begin with. It might have been riding on the clutch. And if that's riding on the clutch all the time, of course, it'll churn the bearing and churn the bearing. And the bearing ain't meant to constantly spin like that. It's only meant to be once you depress your pedal. That's why you shouldn't ride your or have your foot on your pedal either. You can hold that bearing against the clutch and you'll burn the bearing out. So in theory, it should slide right off here. Oh, still catching a little bit. Must have something popped in the way there. Jeepers creepers. Too close, too close. What we got going on there? Oh, of course. This cab's an aftermarket cab. And that's what's in the way. Now I could drive the roll pins out, but we don't really want to. Don't really have to. Yeah, that bearing is a little rough. I got this beautiful mount for this thing, this magnetic mount. Like, if anybody's running the camera around, I'd strongly suggest one of them. Where's that? We can't pop that down, boy. Knock that a little over. No, not quite. You got a little wax like that. Pop down, boy. Oh, come on, baby. Too close. Too close. Oh, my little building here don't blow away. There, take that. Now, here's the bearing. You can see the parts and pieces hanging over there. She's pretty toasted. That's it, burnt the fingers off the clutch here. Nice warm cotton. So there's a new bearing. One thing I want to check, make sure she's not too dirty in here, and that rides smoothly over the shaft there that sticks on. I go over this. This isn't too bad, but it should be cleaned up. Put a new bearing. All right, we got a brand new throat bearing. Nothing with that. No, sorry, nothing wrong with that. Bearing's actually a little rougher than I think it should be, but won't hook the friggin' pedal back up because he claimed he adjusted it. So that means if he adjusts it with his fingers burn off, that means it's not going to be close. I had a bottle jack in there, so I'll have to get that back underneath the clutch housing, hoist it up. Front's actually tipped too far up because they didn't want the oil running out the back main hole. And she's sitting down in the hole, of course, because this has been a while. It's been sitting here. Possibly even frozen. So yeah, I'll get that bottle jack and show you putting her back together. I just want to say thanks to anybody that's still watching at this point. If you can, and if you would, you could just leave a comment, just anything, I guess. Just I'm curious to see who actually watches along here to the end of one of these, and if you're interested, I got a lot more gear to work on when the weather straightens out, or I ever get at it, I guess you'd say. Anyway, thanks for watching. Way to tell how screwy are going together is, of course, check here. This one's actually closing up on the other side more than it is this side, so. And it needs to come in a little on the bottom, so it needs to go up. Yeah, she's one piece. Now, once I get close, this side's good anyway. Once I get close, actually coming apart, it was very difficult to get apart because of stuck on that dowel. So I'm not surprised that it's probably just stuck on that now. There, she's tightened right there now. Yeah, that's what we like to see. And hopefully that crank will thaw out a little. Unfortunately, that's a little froze. So I would check, make sure everything spins good, and check the end plane of the crank, make sure it's nothing tight. Yeah.